Hello, everyone. Thanks for dropping into LPs R Us. Tony's LPs R Us. Tony here. Um, just want to do a little segment on the MoFi class action suit information that I received in the mail yesterday afternoon. Just give you some of my impressions. There's a lot of things online. Some of you may not have heard about it yet. That the class action lawsuit information and applications and filing claims are being sent out to individual customers, I believe, of Music Direct. So you had to buy a one step or a MoFi or an Ultra Disc or whatever variation they're calling them at that time from Music Direct to receive what I received in the mail yesterday. This, you can see up top, and it has a class action membership ID number. So I am in the class action suit. It's a 13 character number, or that's at least what I have here. And I'll go over the paperwork with you briefly. It's interesting. It's very complicated, and it appears that there's a lot of room for problems on MoFi's end and Music Direct's end when this all hits the fan. This is only the court still has to decide whether to approve this settlement and settlement payments. So the paperwork indicates, please be patient. This is only a notice of your rights and options of the lawsuit, which is Stephen J. Tuttle versus Audiophile Music Direct Inc., case number 222CV-01081-JLR, in parentheses, the case, notice of class action settlement, the notice. So this is a notice. This still has to be approved by a court. Music Direct and the class action seekers, which was Tuttle and another person who I believe named Coleman. I'll get to him later, but there's two people who actually initiated this process. And it all started, as you know, because of this announcement. The Music Direct MoFi Michael Jackson One Step of Thriller, limited edition, 40,000. When that came to light, 40,000, it stirred some controversy. How in the hell could MoFi generate 40,000 of these LPs, copies of these LPs, using masters that were made by original analog tapes? There was no way that Sony, who now owns these tapes, I believe, were going to let them run the tape. These tapes are valuable. These tapes are, artifacts of such magnitude that they are not let out of. They are not let out to just run and run and run. So what happened was, Music Direct gave us all the impression that these were from all analog chain for their Music Direct One Steps and MoFi, but in fact there was a digital component of that chain, and that's where this lawsuit stems from. So if you're not familiar with it, I'm not an expert on it. I've listened to it for the last 6-7 months. I still think my MoFis sound great. I'm not really one to send them back and say I don't want them. They do sound good. They sound, whatever they do with that DTS component, the albums sound better than most of the originals that I have of that particular album. But the fact that the public was misled, there's hence the lawsuit, and that's where we are now. So this is the notice of a class action suit. I received this yesterday, and I also received 2 days ago from Music Direct via email open order status. So it was my open order status of what orders I have put into Music Direct for One Steps or MoFis. And just to give you a quick idea, Bitches Brew, which I ordered a year ago, Eagles Hotel California, which I ordered a year ago. And I also ordered through them some additional MoFis. And so what Music Direct now wants me to do is contact them to indicate, do I still want to hold on for dear life and wait maybe forever to get my records that I ordered? I haven't paid for them yet, which is good, because if I did pay for them, I'd be upset. So these are all pre-order. So at this point, what I'm going to do is just let them know that I still want the records, but please inform me when they will be shipped, because it does get, I even forget what I've ordered. So here's just the summary of this letter. Hello from Music Direct. Here's a summary of the pending items and shippable in-stock items we are holding for you. Please review the items below and let us know if we can proceed with shipping the available items. In my case, they're all pre-order. Or if you want to make any cancellations. You have not been charged for any unshipped items. If you would like to make any changes to the shipping address or payment method, simply contact us at helpdesk@musicdirect.com. Thank you for your business and patience. And it says here that this is due to the unprecedented demand and prior supply chain issues the vinyl industry continues to experience an excessive backlog. Therefore, Music Direct reserves the right to cancel a back order that is more than 6 months old. So, we'll contact them and let them know about this. And I appreciate, they're getting back to me. But we already did a segment on how long do we have to wait for these one steps that we've ordered over a year ago. But back to the info at hand. This is the class action suit. United States District Court for the Western District of Washington. And what I'll do is I'll go over some of the highlights and then let you know what your 3 options are or 5 options are regarding the lawsuit. If you have purchased, like most of us have, one steps on the secondary market or gray market, such as eBay, music store, you may not be involved with the claim from Music Direct, obviously, because Music Direct won't know that you purchased, say, the Michael Jackson Thriller or the Elvis Presley One Step or whatever on eBay. And so you'll have to contact them, and I'll give you a website for that. And then you will be able to apply to become part of the settlement. Now, this is your legal rights and options for this settlement. Okay, now this is basically a settlement has been proposed in a class action lawsuit alleging Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs, or MoFi, and AudioFile Music Direct, individually and collectively defendants, marketed and promoted certain MoFi vinyl records from, this is an important date for you guys, March 19th to 2007 to July 27, 2022, using false and misleading claims that the records were all analog. Defendants deny the allegations and any wrongdoing or liability. So we have that, well, we'll pay you, but we accept no responsibility clause, which is BS. If the settlement is approved by the court, original retail consumer purchasers may be entitled to certain refunds or payments. So it says here, original retail consumer purchasers. So I believe if you got this in a secondary market such as eBay or Marketplace, or if you bought them from a friend up the street, you may not be entitled, even though you might have a receipt to indicate that you paid. So we'll get into that. And I'm no lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, so this is not, I'm not giving out any legal advice. That's a disclaimer. Just going to let you know that we did get these, and you're all entitled to get this if you did contact Music Direct for your review. There's a website where you can read it. So again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm just going to give you my impressions. This is something that I think will educate a few people, and I may get something in error, but there's so many sites now discussing this that this is just my first impressions on this. So your legal rights and options in a settlement are: 1, submit a claim. The only way to get a settlement payment as defined in paragraph 6 below. Exclude yourself. Get no settlement payment. This is the only option that allows you to ever be part of any other lawsuit against defendants about the legal claims of this case. So in other words, if you do not exclude yourself, you can no longer sue Analog. You can no longer sue Music Direct for any claim based on this issue. It's just like any other lawsuit. If you've had a back injury or a lawsuit from a personal injury lawyer, once you claim that particular incident, you cannot further sue once the claim has been settled. Here, if you exclude yourself, you may be able to do that. That's the only option. Object. Write to the court. No, if you object, if you object, write to the court about why you do not like this settlement, and they'll give you an address to write to the court. Go to a hearing. Ask to speak in court about the fairness of the settlement. So you can actually go to that particular hearing. We don't know when that will be. That could be a year from now. It could be 2 months from now. Do nothing. Get no payment. Give up rights. So if you don't fill out the application and send in the necessary verification documents, you get nothing. I get nothing. So the notice explains your rights and options and the deadlines to exercise them. This notice. The court still has to decide whether to approve the settlement, and settlement payments will be made only and if approved and after any appeals are resolved. Please be patient. So, how do I know I'm a settlement? Well, we talked about that. If you purchased a MoFi from those dates that we just talked about, and you are a settlement, you are part of the claim. And if you did not get this paperwork in the mail, then contact Music Direct. If I'm not sure if I'm included, here's the website. The website is www.audiofilessettlement.com. That's one word, www.audiofilessettlement.com. They also have a telephone number, 833-630-6697. So you could call and talk to a settlement administrator and get the ball rolling if you decide to get involved. And what does the settlement provide? There are 3 options for class members who submit a timely and valid settlement claim. And that's where it gets tricky. What's a valid settlement claim? And I'll go over that with you. So there's 3 options basically on your remedy for this. If this settlement goes through by the courts, this is the remedy for anyone who was injured, and that's the person who bought a record thinking it was all analog, but it's not all analog. There's a digital component in the chain of analog. You get a full refund. To get a full refund, you have to fill out the paperwork, which I'll show you, and send back that particular MoFi record, such as what you see up behind me. MoFi or One Step, you would have to send that back. You get a full refund. That includes taxes and shipping. The album has to be in its original packaging, and it has to be in perfect condition, less normal wear and tear. So now, do you really think Mobile Fidelity is going to check every thousands of records that come through and see, no, this was dropped, or that's not normal wear and tear, or this isn't the right record? And so there's a lot of problems here that MoFi is going through, and I kind of sympathize with Mobile Fidelity and Music Direct. I've always had good relationships with their staff and their products, but let's face it, they have to take responsibility. They're the ones who kind of brought this on. The second option is to get a 5% rebate back, which means you actually verify the records that you purchased from those dates, 207 to 222, which I noticed. You send those back on the form, which I'll show you, and with proof, with photos. I believe they want photos, and they want the number of the record, the order, your order number if you have it, and you will get back 5% of up to 110% of the retail value. So, for instance, if you paid $300 for that Ryman Simon at a record store, you get the receipt, you pay $300 because it was sold out. And these things tend to double. These records were so much in demand, they tend to double or triple or quadruple, like the Abraxas first Abraxas, first One Step, that's $1,000 or more album now. If you were not smart enough and you send that back, you're only going to get up to 110% of that retail value, which was, I think at that time, $99. I think they started at $99, which was outrageous at the time, but we got used to those. So in essence, you're only going to get 110% of the manufacturer's retail list price, which I believe the list price is what we're selling, what we've been buying these for. If they're listed for $150 a mobile at Music Direct, we're paying $150. Now, if you bought this at someone like the In-Groove, Mike's the In-Groove, which is a great channel that I watch religiously, and you bought that record for more, I believe, based on what I'm reading here, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, you have to read this, you're not going to get the full amount, you're going to get up to 110% of the original retail value. The what option that I think is a fair option is the third option, and that's a 10% coupon of every MoFi or box set One Step that you purchased. You supply documentation to Music Direct that you have these albums, you will get back a 10% coupon. So that adds up. I know people who have hundreds of these, who bought hundreds of, not myself, I just can't afford that. And to be honest with you, I'm happy with some of the OGs. I did buy most of the One Steps that I'm interested in and some of the double MoFi 45s. But this is, you get 10% back from each verified claim that you put in that you've purchased this album. So there's the three options again. Full refund, you send back the record, they send you a full refund up to basically up to what the list price was. Whatever you paid, you might get the list, you'll get at least the list price. 5% back on the list price as a refund. 10%, third option, 10% coupon. And I think that's a fair option. Like I said, I'm not going to send any of my records back. I think I'm going to apply to the 10% coupon. And if you figure it out, you may have enough records. If you bought a lot of records from Music Direct and whatever else you could source, whatever source you had, and Music Direct's the claim, the settlement people accept your claim, you may get enough 10% to buy a few more albums. That's the way I look at it. I'm going to show you the forms that you have to send back. It's funny. They're listing only 10 spaces. There's the form. And this has to be submitted no later than September 21, 2023. So you do have time. Here's the page 2, and as you can see, proof of purchase. Now, proof of purchase is the receipt, and they also want some type of proof of purchase of the album number, and I believe they want photographs of perhaps the back of the record or the side of the record. One thing I didn't note, you have to prove present ownership to get your money, to get your refund. Well, obviously to get the refund because you'd have to send them in, but to get a coupon or to get the 5% refund, you have to prove current ownership. It's like proof of death for these ransom notes things. You have to show a photo that you have proof of life, proof of death. So you have to show proof of life, basically. So, and that's where it comes kind of crazy, because what you're going to do is you're going to list your records here as say you want the 10% refund, and then you're going to have to upload photographs. However you do that with an MP, a JPEG, or they give you the options here to prove that I am still in ownership of this record. Now, you may have bought this record. You may have bought a record in question, and you've given it as a gift for Christmas, which I have, or you've given it to your son as a present, or you sold it for a profit, you doubled your money, you are no longer eligible for a claim because you do not own that particular album or record at this point of the claim. So that's an important matter to remember. And again, I'm going to give you the www website, the settlement website. If you have information, I would suggest you read that because, like I said, I'm not a lawyer. I'm trying to get this out within a half hour, I hope, and so you can understand your options. So it's www.audiophilesettlement.com, or call 1-833-630-6697, and you'll speak to a claim administrator. So once again, proof of purchase, and you have the checkoff list of how you want to proceed. Proof of ownership, you have to check off, and I'm going to read off the chart here, off the form here. I still own and am in possession of the following applicable records for which I seek a settlement payment, and attached to this form legible proof of ownership, such as photocopies, JPEGs, PDFs, or similar copies of the catalog number on cover or spine box, and the individually handwritten stamped or handwritten number from the back cover, as well as the front cover of each applicable or other reliable documentation showing my ownership and possession at the time. They also indicate that if any of these are in error, your claim will be sent back to you for corrections. Now, one of my questions was, well, what if I list 30 records and one of them somehow doesn't meet the standard? Do they send everything back for me to reclaim it and stall and not pay out and proceed to kick the can down the road, or am I going to just get the one claim that I need to correct? So that's something that I would suggest you talk to a settlement person about. Proof of purchase. For each applicable record for which you are seeking a settlement payment, you must provide proof of purchase. Check the boxes below that apply and provide the required information. But the good thing about this is if you purchase these records from Music directly, the MoFis, you can just put down the order number if you have your receipts, or you could put down the record number, the record itself. Say, for instance, There Goes Rhyme Simon, Ultra Disc One Step. Music Direct will check their records and use that as verification or proof of purchase. So that's a nice deal. They have their work cut out for them. This weird mishap of their, how could I say, kind of shady neglect, not telling us the full story. It's going to cost them a lot of money. And by the way, the two class action initiators are going to receive $10,000 settlements for their participation as the initiators of the class action. The attorneys are already, I think there's money in the bank for about $290,000 to pay the attorneys. And if you wish to be represented by the attorneys for the class action suit or contact them, Music Direct pays their fee, so you could actually contact them. But when you get this information, if you don't have it or go to the website, you'll read about all that. Like I indicated, I'm not an attorney, but I think I got the most of this information, the gist of most of this information to give to you. So here again, here's the chart, the application fee. So you can see it's record one, applicable records, record one, merchant, retail merchant, name and address or website, purchase date, amount paid. I guess if you purchased it from another record store, you'd have to do that. And it goes on. And it's funny, they're only giving you the 10 spot here, but I'm sure that could be extended. And here you have again the options. You check off return refund, 5% payment, 10% coupon. And my impression is, the 10% coupon is a fair way to go. Like I said, I don't like being misled. I remember saying, well, they're all analog. Everybody say, oh yeah, we could hear it. It's all analog. And, boom, it's not all analog. There's a digital component there. It still surpasses, most other pressings. But, for MoFi, Music Direct, to indicate, the owners of MoFi, to indicate that this is an all analog chain and not be transparent, there's the problem. So, honesty is the best policy, as we say. And you then, when you fill out the form, you then indicate your method of delivery for your 10% coupon or your 5% refund or your full refund. And that is email to my email address below, email, I guess, a coupon, postal mail to my postal address below, and they will give you that. So there's another look at the form. Just give you an idea of the three options. Here's the front. And if you got this form in the mail, you may not have noticed it right away, but right above the name with the barcode is your class member ID. So if you purchased from MoFi, I think you're automatically registered as a class action ID. I haven't spoke to anyone else on this. I know we were talking about it, but I just received this in the mail. I haven't watched any other videos. I know that they're on there. I passed through on this. There's a lot of roundtables from the real vinyl community experts. I'm not an expert. I'm just doing this channel because I like doing it. And but I wanted to get this out to you. And again, you'll also get in the mail or email your MoFi order status. So you could indicate to them, no, yes, I still want these. No, I don't. For example, I basically canceled. I had ordered initially all the Van Halens, the one steps. And, the reason I did it was, okay, I'll order them all. You don't have to pay, but you're in the line now. You're definitely going to get a copy. If they sell out, you're definitely going to get a copy. And, I kind of thought, it may take them 6 years to press these things, 3 years. So they'll trickle down. In other words, you're not going to get hit with 3 Van Halens that, your credit card bill is hit with a $500 bill for 3 or whatever the cost is with shipping and tax. But then they started to just randomly press them, randomly send them out. They could come in 3s, they could come in 4s. So I just said, I'm done. And I'm happy with my original Van Halens. I'm not a super Van Halen fan. I think, my younger years, I dug them. I'm more of an Elvis fan, more of the Ryan and Simon, stuff like that. But if they were doing the whole Elvis, if they were doing 5 Elvis records in a row, I'd have to pick and choose because it gets rather expensive, even though you are getting a superior pressing. Are you getting a pressing that is worth $125 more than a clean original pressing? And I did a video on that. If you go back and look, I did a video on, is it really worth it? And that's my 2 cents on this. So like I said, again, just a little brief impression, just a little notice on these class action lawsuits. And again, it's Stephen Tuttle versus Audiophile Music Direct. And I just want to clarify something here that I talked about. If I could find it. And there are dates on when you have to add your application to. Let's see here. I missed it, but I do know that the 2 people that initiate the class action suit are guaranteed $10,000 each, and that the lawyers have money appropriated for them to handle these lawsuits. So yeah, check out if you haven't gotten this and you've purchased Music One Steps, Music Direct One Steps, and MoFi's, please contact them via the website or the phone number. You have to go back and get the phone number. And good luck with this. But like I said, I'm gonna try to get my act together and apply for the 10% because I think that will add up to a few more records, and there's nothing wrong with that. So hope you enjoyed this. Please support the channel and subscribe. I have some more topics I'm going to come up with. I'm going to do my albums, which earlier pressings that I have, a mono and a stereo. What's my pick of those two? Does the mono sound better? Is the stereo better? And that's all preference. That's all. But I'm going to do and show some of the old OG records, mono and stereo pressings, such as the Beatles, Stones, Sonny and Cher, Association, Platters. They're all available mono and stereo before stereo became, the standard and mono was phased out. So that's it. So I hope you enjoy this. Like I said, thank you for watching and really appreciate it. Tony's LPs are us signing out. And if there's any questions, if I did anything, if I misspoke, please leave a comment and I will correct it. Thanks a lot. Keep rocking. Peace.